Morning guys, welcome to On the Level Racing channel, and it's finally here. The festival, the Cheltenham Festival has finally arrived. Sadly, we're going to have no crowds there this year, because obviously if that was the case, I will be there obviously. And there's been a lot of changing around on the horses over the last few days, some declarations. So you know, without waffling on too much, we're going to get straight into the show this morning. And we obviously start with the Supreme. Now, if I'm looking away, don't worry, I'm just obviously looking at the laptop beside me. But obviously, Willie Mullins has got a prolific record in this race, and again brings a solid adversary to all his horses he's taken on here in Appreciate It. Second in last year's bumper, obviously no Fernie Hollow here this year, as obviously has decided not to even appear here at Cheltenham. And the fact that he's free from free over hurdles, and he couldn't be more impressive last time out, to be honest. If we have a quick look, obviously, he put Badly Adam to the sword twice this season. Even though, and even Blue Lord last time out in the Chanel Farmer over at Leopardstown on the softer heavy ground. Now this horse Appreciate It is a very versatile horse. He's can go on any ground. He's won up to over 2.25, 2.5 mile. So if he gets a soft lead here, if he bowls from the front, he's going to be, unless obviously the horse makes mistakes, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. And obviously the market has obviously given that value, being backed from 9 to 4 all the way in now, obviously with the many horses taken out of the race into 10 to 11, 5 to 6 in places. I'm disappointed that there's only the 8 runners, because obviously we're used to a very good big field of 14, 15, maybe more in a Supreme. And obviously many in this race obviously think that Appreciate is a sure thing, so it's just a waste of time obviously even sending the horses into this race. But my pick personally, I still like Belly Adam. I know Appreciate is going to be very hard to beat. There's no getting away from it. But I just think Belly Adam has improved as a novice, as much as Appreciate has. Okay, yeah, he's still fair enough. He's still got 3.25 lengths to find from the Leopardstown race, but he has got closer to Appreciate It purely on the fact that he was beaten by further. So you have to give Appreciate It probably the nod here. I'm looking over the rest of the field. Who's going to chase him home? Badly Adam again, like I said, has improved 9 lengths since losing to Appreciate It in the Champions Novice Hurdle over the Christmas period, and that was 15 3/4 length defeat. He's only been beaten recently by 3.25 lengths, and has recently moved to Henry de Bromhead. Whether he can turn that form around, we don't know. Obviously, we know today it's not be an easy time. 3.25 lengths is quite a considerable amount to turn around on a champion horse. But Badly Adam for me could run well. There's been a lot of money around recently for over the last 24 hours for Willie Mullins' other horse in this race, Blue Lord. Simon Manure's horse, last seen obviously third to Appreciate again in the Chanel Farmer. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised Bob Onger hasn't switched to this race, because the horse has got plenty of pace. And he beat Blue Lord by 6.5 lengths in the Laurels of Ness, the Grade 1 novice hurdle of 2.5 miles. So obviously they seem to think Bob Onger is well worthy of going to 2.5 miles instead of coming here for the Supreme. I was in the race here. Now, they still seem to think, now, Harry Fry seems to obviously still seems to think. Sorry, I get my words tongue tied there. That Meteor coming here fresh is not going to be a problem. I beg to differ. I thought it would have been obviously give him a good run. Would have helped obviously, and the toll worth wasn't really that fantastic. To beat Shaken up Barry quite convincingly by 12 lengths, and that horse has come out and been thrashed in the Betfair Hurdle. So really, even though we're trying to appreciate it beaten, it's not possible. Not for me anyway. We can look down at bottom there, John Joe O'Neill's horse here, usual bumper horse, Soaring Glory. Hasn't done nothing wrong. He's won a grade 3 handicap hurdle back in last month, well, for the mark of 133, when beating 50 ball. A horse that I put up to win the race and just outpointed up in the closing stages. And he finished third to a horse with my Drogo last just before Christmas in the Kennel Gate. Is it good enough to beat? Is it good enough to beat? Appreciate it. He's also, if we go back a little bit further, back to October, I mean, he beat in a novice hurdle. He beat a horse called Brave Man's Game, who I think will win the Ballymore. And so does Paul Nicol, obviously, the trainer. He seems to think that's his best winner of the week. So that's, it's good form for Soaring Glory. Soaring Glory has probably got to be the outside horse in the race, if we were looking at it realistically. With the dead 8 holding, Soaring Glory is actually into 11 to 1 from 14s this morning again. Still be a bit of money for him. Blue Lord, stable around 11 or 10s. Baddy Adams into 6s, a bit of money for Baddy Adam. Obviously the each way play there. Meteor's been a big drifter. He's now out to 11 to 2, 6 to 1 with Coral. But I appreciate it into 5 to 6, 8 to 11 with Ladbrokes. It's short up all the time. So I mean, I'm going to stick to my blog bet. I'm not going to go against it. I still think Baddy Adam is good. I mean, I've got him at bigger prices than that. I've got him at 8 to 1, which I was happy with each way. In fact, I actually fancied the horse to win this race, even though I appreciate it has been backed off the boards. So that would be my bet in the Supreme, the Baddy Adam each way there. I think a nice 1 point each way. With Baddy Adam. We move on to the 155, which is the Arkle. Again, we've got a hot pot there in Shishkin. It's basically now his horse to lose. Sadly, again, we've only got 5 runners, so we'll be looking for horses to stay on in the closing stages. I mean, it's going to be a Bristol pace. Obviously, Dan Skelton's horse is going to go off 100 miles an hour, All Mankind, and possibly there he will have company with El Dorado Allen, which they both will probably set a good clip. And okay, it's Shishkin's race to lose, but we have seen it happen. He's been the talking horse for months now. Henderson's obviously got on record and turned around and said he's in cracking form at home. He's come through off the back of his races. I mean, he beat Eldorado Allen last time out in the Lightning Novices Chase at Doncaster in the Grade 2 by 8.5 lengths, and he did that very well. And last year he beat Abacadabras by a head, who is actually fancied for one of the races today on an each way level. So, for a horse that's coming into this unbeaten, he's only lost twice in his career. We can overlook obviously his point-to-point route, and obviously he fell on his hurdling debut, but obviously he's progressed nicely obviously since then. People turn around and say, like, can he win an Arkle? Yeah, I think he's good enough. He's run off here 162. Was he now 164 up another £2, and I think there's probably more to come with Shishkin. 164 is pretty rated I mean, if he obviously wins this and wins it well, we're talking about 170 horse here, which, looking at the field, there's nothing within £10 of him. One that could run well is Captain Guinness. Done nothing wrong. I thought he was travelling ominously well last time when coming to grief behind Endergamine, which sadly, will not turn up here. And that was in the Irish Arkle. Was travelling very, very well. Came to grief. He's finished behind Endergamine twice. He's now rated 150. There's no reason why Captain Guinness won't, run a very good race here. But I think his trip might be too short for him. Looking at his stats and looking at the way he's run, I think this horse could be a 2.5 miler. So this could be a little bit on the sharp side, and he might not handle the pace that All Mankind and Eldorado Allen is going to set here, definitely. Which will obviously set up for Shishkin. He'll have a fast pace, which we will come off. And if he's there, if he doesn't make that blunder 3 out, like more someone do, and he comes around that bend, to cruise him on the quarters, or whoever's in for probably All Mankind, it's going to be hard to see him. He's race to lose, basically. I will talk about Munnings' horse here. Excuse me, which obviously is the only one he's got left in the race now, which is Franco Deport. Now, this is the horse I did put up each way. I mean, I couldn't back against Shishkin. It's a waste of time. I mean, obviously Shishkin's in my trebles and a few doubles there I've got going around, and accumulators. I thought his run behind Endergamine was quite impressive. I know he got beat by 10 lengths, but I mean, he had 12 lengths further back Embittered, who's actually fancied for a handicap at this week's festival. Black Bow, I think Black Bow is a horse that I think you can put a line through. The form line's not there through that horse. So if we take the bottom 3 out of the race, that was in the race there, or the bottom 5, I think, because Captain Guinness fell in the race. We're travelling well, but Franklin Deport stayed on well. Now he only stayed on there through sufferance that obviously Captain Guinness would have probably got that second spot. But he did beat Dava Star prior to that, which is good form. There has been a few whispers around for Dava Star at big prices this week. Whether he's good enough to win it, I don't think so. I said he was my each way bet. Sadly, now there's only 5 runners, but I have to stick to my goal. I theory was, I think Shishkin's the winner. I think it's his race to lose, and if something drastically happens, and to chase him home now, I think Captain Guinness could probably chase him home. I think that if that fall hasn't taken too much out of him, he's had plenty of time to recover, 38 days. So I can't see the reason why he won't run well in this race. So yeah, it'd probably be, I suppose, 1 point each way on Captain Guinness for me. I mean, he's currently around about the 15-2 mark. There's been no money against Shishkin in this race anyway. Everything's drifted against him. So, really you could say that's a formality if he jumps well. And we all know he can jump well. He's won a Supreme. So, on to the Ultima. A race that I spent hours on this race, and I don't tend to hang around too long in these races, but the handicap chases are very difficult at Cheltenham. Now, due to Lieutenant Rocco, who I actually fancied for the race, who I put up on the blog, has been pulled out now. There's been obviously a lot of money now hitting around for Kim Bailey's horse here, Happy Go Lucky. They seem to think this is a banker of quite a few people I know. He's coming to 130 now. If you look at his services novices win over 3 mile, 1 furlong extension, beating the Mighty Don by 3 3/4 lengths. He did that well. I mean, he basically ran him into the ground. He sat there off the pace in second and third, and he really won with plenty in hand for David Bass. That form line has got even better. If we go back prior to that, Fakenham, the race before when he beat Getaway Trump, we lost to Getaway Trump by half a length. That form has been franked as Getaway Trump has come out and obviously won. He's got festival form. He was fourth in the Mighty Pipe last year, behind a horse called Indefatigable. And yeah, I can't really see anything really bad to go against him. He's finished third behind the likes of Time Hill. Obviously, it's sad he's going to miss the Stayers this year. But he comes in this 2 from 3 over the chase rank. He's got a Cheltenham win under his belt, which significantly does help here. He's done the course and distance. And he's definitely one to be on the right side of, and the money's been coming from this morning. I was probably looking at the race, the most consistent Heather Graham's horse here, I Right. Out and out stayer, again, by Yates. This 8-year-old, I thought should have won at Doncaster last time out. Had every chance of 151. So, let me see. We're going games here. Getting games. I'm using the old computer for obviously because this one's only on the camera can work. Sorry, back to it. So I said I was quite disappointed that he didn't win at Doncaster in the Sky Bet handicap chase. He had every chance. Getting beaten by 40 to 1 shot was quite a kick in the bollocks, to be fair. Capu du Nord was fancied there. But if you're rated of 151 and you finish between horses that rated like nearly £12 and £8 below you, it's concerning that he never got home in the soft ground. Callum Bewley that day was riding him. This afternoon you're going to get the one and only Dickie Johnson. So, we'll have to see on that how I Right goes. One that's been tipped up by Hugh Taylor on at the races is this Alnadam. He's had a bit of money for it. All the horses coming from 10s to 8s. So last seen at Sandown, winning the Warriors handicap chase over 2.5 miles. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, sorry, it's over 2.5 miles. When he beat Clam Legend, and he beat him quite convincingly by 5.5 lengths. It was a good run for Skelton's horse off Mark 137. Coming here with what? Probably an £8 penalty. Was he running off here? 145, yeah, £8 penalty. So he is one to watch. He's by Polyglot. So we know that this horse should stay this trip quite convincingly. And he is definitely one to look out for. Denise Foster, obviously takes over after already a fiasco at Gordon Elliott's Yard. I mean, she will be in charge of the Elliott's Yard right through this festival here, and she's got Milan Native here. Again, it's been money round for this horse this morning. Hasn't won between the flags for a while now. Going right back into last October, when winning a pretty average chase, to be fair, Galway, beating Discorama by a short rate of 149. Obviously, the handicap is obviously giving this sort of chance. He came to here last year and he won the Kimura over the 3.25. That was on good soft ground. So if it is going soft here, I think this horse got a cracking chance. I think the Clark course did turn around and say they are going good on the soft side of good. So obviously it's been rain over the last 36 hours there. So I think it just might go a little bit softer. I think the first day is going to be the worst on the ground. We're probably looking at soft ground, and obviously as the week goes on, I would presume it will come on the good side. But Milan Native, is definitely a big threat to Happy Go Lucky. I won't put that pulled up and 0 to put you off too much. I see Jack Kenny's coming for the ride, which is superb. One and price here could be Ollie Murphy's horse here, who's been fine fettle this year. And he has the Wolf Now he's a big prize at 20 to 1, I think. Last seen, his last win came at Chepstow, which was in a beginner's chase. He won it convincingly enough by 2.5 lengths of a mark of 1:30.35. And since then, his penalties, he was hit with a penalty up to like, he was given a £9 penalty for that win, which was ridiculous for a 2.5 length win. And took its toll over 3 miles. He didn't show anything at Exeter. He came out of Chepstow and got beaten again off 1:44. And then obviously the handicapman dropped him down another £4, and he went and he got beaten by Chantry House in a Class 4. So it's a big step up for the Wolf, but he's not the most consistent horse to rely on. He's not really fluent on his jumping, and as you know, Cheltenham, there is no hiding place at Cheltenham for jumping errors. So for the old team out, I did put up obviously Lieutenant Rocco, but look at this race now. If I was going to put my neck out on the line here for an each way bet, I would probably I'd go 2 against the field. I think there's 16 runners, so you're going to get the first 4 as a handicap, I believe. Yeah, so you're going to get the first 4, probably first 5 in some races. I think Boyle Sports is first 5. So I'm going to go for Happy Go Lucky for the win. I think this horse is probably the best stayer in the race. And as an each way bet, I would go Milan Native, purely on the ground. I'm not going to worry about the last 2 runs. I think this horse is better than that. He's had a win operation since, and we'll see if Denise Foster can get some luck here. So that would be probably a 1 point win, 130 on Happy Go Lucky, and I would probably take a half a point each way on the 7s. You can get 8s with Tote. So 7 to 1 with Milan Native. But also be aware of Hugh Taylor's tip there, Alnadam. He's been proving very good form this month, tipping. So, Champion Hurdle. Now, excuse me. Champion Hurdle. So let's have a look. The big one, Honeysuckle versus Epatante. Who wins the race? That's the question. They're going soft, good to soft in places. Now, I tend to think that on the ground alone, I think Honeysuckle. I think she's going to be better than Epatante here. I think Epatante could have probably wanted the ground a bit more quicker. You can't take it away. I was listening to an interview of Rachel Blackmore yesterday, and as she was building up Kim Alexander's horse, Honeysuckle, and yeah, she could be more praised with the horse. She was impressed in the Irish Champion Hurdle, and we've seen horses like other horses come out this and win. Hurricane Flyer did the same. Went to the Irish and came out and won the English equivalent. I'm not saying this horse is as good as, but she's definitely up. She's definitely up there. As we know, last year she won here at the festival. She won the mares. She could have gone that route again. She hasn't. They've been ballsy, and I'm just wondering, is she the horse to beat? Is she on this ground? She should be. She's won over 2.5 miles a couple of times, 4 times. So she stays well. So if she comes around that bend, like I said, in front, Epatante will definitely have a race on his hands, on her hands. Sorry. So, if we look at the on heavy grounds, soft to heavy, the Irish Champion Hurdle. Now, she clocked a time of 4 minutes 1 in that race. If we go and look at Epatante's win last year in this contest, which was also on soft ground, I'm pretty sure she's much faster. She was much slower, I think. Yeah, she was 6 seconds slower. So there's a 6-second gap there that really Epatante also has got to go up against her, and on the same ground. Yeah, I'm probably in honey. So we just looked at Honeysuckle there. We have a look at Epatante now. Everyone's saying, Silver Streak beat her quite convincingly over at Kempton. on Boxing Day when over the Christmas hurdle. Can't take nothing away from Silver Streak. It was an impressive run. And if we go prize that, I mean, would it have been different in the fighting fifth if Silver Streak did not run out? That's the question got asked. So we could turn around and say, would Silver Streak beat Epatante in the fighting fifth? Obviously, the horse quickly came out and put 6.5 lengths between him and her. So yeah, you can't overlook Silver Streak, and obviously he will set a good clip, absolutely. Honeysuckle and Epatante will come off the pace. Honeysuckle will have to be watching Silver Streak to not let this horse have a soft lead at all. Others in the race there, obviously Goshen. For a horse having to give away to two very, very good mares is not going to be easy whatsoever. Okay, yeah, threw the dummy out. Back return at Cheltenham International Hurdle, completely threw the dummy out, spat it out, didn't interested, just never turned up, and then came out of Wincanton and boom, won the Kingwell Hurdle so impressively by 22 lengths. But here's my question: what did he beat? It was more like a schooling run for him, because when Jamie Moore came over when Jamie Moore came over the last, he was looking underneath between his legs, and he had the race won a long way out. And it's Song for Someone. He's a 158 rated horse, but I don't think Song for Someone's anything special to jump out and off the page at. That being too detrimental towards the horse of Tin Simmons, but I just can't think Goshen is beaten. Horses that were not good really, and he beat him well. So I do have questions that the Kingwell Hurdle wasn't very strong, and the fact that he's got a weight to give away here to the two exceptional mares. At the top there, again, Denise Foster's got Abracadabras. Excuse me again. Probably the each way angle, to be honest. I met second to Honeysuckle in the Irish Champion Hurdle. Impressive run. But if you look at that race prior to that, on soft ground, was absolutely thrashed by Shahjan. And he'd been beaten by Aspire Tower this season. So that is my concern, that the horse just doesn't do enough to win a race. He's just a galloper. I mean, this kind of horse, if I was looking at Abracadabra, he's only a 7-year-old, and he seemed to be he's been ran a long time, especially when he's hurdling ranks. So for me, I would probably put Abracadabra and have a crack. I would probably send this horse, I don't know, over a more distance. I mean, I might, try and get him up to about 2.5 and see if we can stretch him from there, because he's just a galloper. He doesn't tend to win many races, but he stays and he stays. And just running 2 miles is pretty, at the moment, getting him off the bridle too quickly, and it's too short for him. So it'd be interesting to see if Abracadabra gets stepped up next season. He's only a 7-year-old. So being only 7, he's got plenty of years ahead of him. The 5-year-old here, Aspire Tower, Jessica de Harrington's horse. I think we can, a lot of people think this is a big price at 28-1, especially after beating Abracadabra back in October last year in the WKD hurdle, and second last year in the JCB Triumph hurdle. Now, for me, Triumph hurdle horses, I can't have them. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not a great fan of horses that come out of the Triumph hurdle and try to win races of this nature. So that's the only reason why I would probably put my line through Aspire Tower. Sorry again. Have a look at Sharjah. Obviously, William Mullins turned around and said, I think you can overlook, I have to agree, you can overlook his run last time behind Honeysuckle. So prior to that, he beat Aspire Tower quite convincingly. And second this last year behind Epatante, lost by 3 lengths. Sharjah seems to save. I don't know. I think if you look at it, if you go back to like 2 seasons ago when he ran against S. Boyd Allen, I mean in the champion hurdle, I mean I think he might have gone close that day. He was really fancied that day back 2 seasons ago when he brought down. Then he came out the following year, obviously lost 3 lengths to Epatante and just bumped into another good horse, another good mare. And he hasn't run too badly, as the season progressed. I mean, over summer months he stayed in racing over summer. Finished fourth to Dalton Highway, who another horse has been well backed this week in the handicap. And he came out obviously, and this year he's come out and beat Aspire Tower quite easily. We'll talk 2 lengths, but it's still easily. And he's finished 19 minutes behind Honeysuckle. So with all these, you look at the race here, all these horses have got to give £7 to Epatante and Honeysuckle. It's not going to be easy. And I'm going to hope Rachel Blackmore has a great week. She's got some lovely rides this week. And I'm hoping she can bring Honeysuckle home today in Champion Hurdle. It'd be fantastic for her. I mean, Epatante is going to be a serious threat, as we know, and Silver Streak is going to set a very good pace. So there's something for the 2 mares to handle. And I just think Honeysuckle, because she's won over 2.5 mile, I think she could pick them all up and she could take this. Onto the mares hurdle. My first bet would have been on Constantista in this race. I said she's done nothing wrong. 2 from 2 this season. Back into 5 to 4 now. She's beaten Melody twice. I mean, the last one she came in the EBF Mares Hurdle, the Grade 3. The fact that is, I just don't think it was a strong race, that Leopardstown race. At Leopardstown, yeah. And yeah, I just missed this chat about this horse on the preview night. And obviously, they was up against it. Everyone went for Constantista, and she looks like a good banker. But you can't look away from the 2 mares that are going to chase her. Manila Medis is in the race once more. Rachel Blackmore has decided to ride her. I don't think you can overlook Roxana. I mean, I think one of my colleagues from the page was quite right what he said, that they should have sent Roxana to the stayers, because now Time Hill got pulled out. I think she would have had a cracking chance at the stayers. I mean, she's already finished behind Time Hill, Paisley Park this season, and it's a cracking run, and you can't take anything away from Roxana. I mean, she was so. I mean, to have that as a prep run over at Paisley Park, and she beat Next Destination, who's going for the Ultimo. So, and the fact that Magic Light is going the Grand National route again. I mean, the way she beat Magic Light last time out in the Warfield was quite impressive. I mean, she never made an error. She cruised. She relaxed. Harry Skelton, great hands by Harry Skelton, and he just let her run a race, and that's exactly what she did, run a race. And I wouldn't, I'd turn around and say, no, oh my God, she only beat Magic Light, but Magic Light's no scratch. Magic Light finished second in the Grand National last year, last year. So, or the year before. Yeah, behind Tiger Roll. So within the year before, so we read that Mickey Mouse cartoon crap last year, didn't we? So yeah, so Rockside. I mean, I can't look anywhere else in this race. I mean, Rockside. I think Rockside is exactly what it says. Rock solid. I think she can beat Constantine. So Constantine is stepping up to Grade 1 company for the first time. And the fact that Rockside won this race also in the past. So yeah, she won it in 2019. So I'm quite convinced that Roxana could roll back the years and she could win this. One you got here is Nikki Henderson here. who so desperately wants to win this race. And he's got his mare here, Dame de Capagni. Now, I don't know. How do we make this horse? It comes out of air and wins on heavy ground by 9 lengths, and it comes out at Sandown last time out when set up 2 mile in the City Isles, and obviously it's chased a Grade 1. And I don't know, it just made terrible. I mean, just jumping errors were just unbelievable by this horse. I mean, if we look at track leaders, pushed along before 11th water, dropped to last pair, went badly hampered by Faller and unseated rider on the 12th. But the horse was beaten a long way out before that it even happened. Doesn't look a Grade 1 horse to me. And I think she would struggle in this, very much so, for pace. Black Tears again, hasn't done nothing wrong, came out and won nicely last time out over at Punchestown over 2.5 miles, beat the Getaway Star, but has got plenty to find. He's got 12 3/4 lengths to find with Contentista from the Leopardstown run over Christmas. So that's a lot in my mind to find, especially around Cheltenham. So as for a bet in this race, the mares, I would have to go for a 1-point win on Roxana to retain her crown for the second time. Okay, on to the, if I go back to the 305, the Champion Hurdle. Did I give a bet out for the Champion Hurdle? No, I did. I just said, didn't I? So yeah, sorry. I'll go back to Champion Hurdle, guys. It's going to be a nap of the day, I think. Honeysuckle. I think she's too good, and the fact she's won by Ferber, and the fact that she's going to get a good pace into this race off Silver Streak. Yeah, I would like to think that Honeysuckle and Rachel Blackmore can have great success here, and that would be a nap for me, a 2-point win at 11 to 8. You can get 6 to 4 with some firms, so I think it's a good bet. So on to the 4:15, which is the Boodles. I think that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, we're going into the Boodles, the 4:15. It's a Grade 3, obviously known as the Fred Winter. And again, I was looking at 2 against the field here. I've done the write-up for this, and there's 2 against the field I like, that I think could run very well. Maybe 3, actually, sorry. But we'll take the 3. Willie Mullins, St. Sam. Now, you can't take away that this horse has run behind some prolific, fantastic horses this year. I mean, look, second and 4th behind Xanahir. And then come out to finish second to Quilixios at Leopardstown last time out, last month in the Spring Juvenile Hurdle. I mean, this horse, it just hits the bar, but always runs well. And the fact that Danny Mullins is not in for the ride here, Paul Townend comes in for the ride, who rode this horse back on November last year when in the Grade 3 Juvenile Hurdle, the Bar 1, finished second, 14 heads behind Xanahir. So it's good form, very, very good form line for the horse there. If we looked at the one here, I generally like, and that's Cabot Cliff. It's the horse I put up on the blog, Cabot Cliffs. Reason being, from an informed yard, Skelton's 14 to 1, I thought was ridiculously big. The only worry about me, obviously, this horse is sired by Glen Eagles. That's my little concern. But he beat Sage Advice by 1.5 lengths at Warwick back in last month, February, in the Juvenile Hurdle, and then came out and put 17 lengths between him and a horse called Heros de Soyou of Nicky Henderson's. Now, this horse is very, very well regarded and a very expensive horse. It was bought by the Hendersons. and the way he put 17 lengths between him and that horse was quite impressive, and that was on soft ground at Warwick. So I wouldn't put you off backing this horse each way. Others there, I think you've got to have a strong look here at Joseph O'Brien's horse here, Bustleton. It's owned by Chanel Far Limited, as you know, who sponsor many good races over in Ireland. Again, this horse finished second in the Knight Frank to Zanahiyr, and then came out last month to finish third behind Quilixios, with Saint Sam almost 5 lengths in front of him in the Spring Juvenile Hurdle on softer, heavy ground. Now, Saint Sam and Bustleton wasn't really doing much into Quilixios's win, but I would like to think that Bustleton will improve. Has a very, very good third, very good run indeed in that company. And then one at a price is obviously Denise Foster's horse here, Glorious Zoff. Now, 28 to 1 again. I think it's too big a price. Last seen running at Dundalk, I don't know why. On 19th of January, winning at Dundalk over a mile and a half off a mark of 70. This horse is nothing to jump up about, to be fair. He hasn't shown anything. Never been at Cheltenham. You wouldn't know what Cheltenham looks like. He's only a 74 rated flat horse, but I just think this is the kind of race that Glorious Off could run exceptionally well off a very high price of 28 to 1. Really. The favourite here, most definitely probably will be, and it will be backed, is a 200 grand horse that was bought by Paul Nicholls, Hugris. Now, I was disappointed with this horse terribly when I put it up when finishing behind Adagio in the Coral Finale Juvenile Hurdle at Chepstow. Don't take anything away from Adagio. Adagio, again, is another horse well fancied this week. However, I was just disappointed that the horse just wavered very quickly, died out of the race, and was lost by 22 lengths. I'm not convinced, really, that Hugris could win this type of race. Obviously, you've got Sage Advice in there. You've got Her Indoors, who has done nothing wrong for Annan King. And then you've got Denise Foster's other horse here, which is probably the more interesting one, due to the fact that she's a filly by Marteline, which should like the ground, and finish a good third behind the Devil Coachman last time out, 3.5 lengths. Another horse has been well put up this week in quite a few reviews on YouTube. So, yeah, we know the horse stays the ground. So I won't put anyone off a little look around that Riviere d'Etel. But for me, as a bet wise, I'm going to go with Cabot Cliffs. I think that was too high a price. I'm just hoping that Fluke, if it wasn't a fluke, beating that horse Heros did it all by 17 lengths. If that wasn't a fluke for Dan Skelton's horse, and he's a front runner as well, so we could see a very big run from this horse, I think, at 14s. And another horse against the field, I have to put up Saint Sam. I just think Willie Munning's horse has been so unlucky, bumped into the wrong horses at the wrong time, and is pretty consistent. So that's where I would go. I'll probably go home half point each way with Cabot Cliffs, and we go a 1 point win on Saint Sam in the race. On the finale of the day, the first day, the Sam Festi National Hunt Challenge Cup Novices Chase over the longest trip of the day, which is over 3 mile 5, or 3 mile 6, should we say, grade 2. And this is where Paul Nicholls seems to think that next destination is a good thing here. And I actually have to disagree. I don't think the horse is. Since obviously Royal Pagao has come out of this race and decided to head off to the Gold Cup, where he's only got an 8 to 1 chance to win the race. Um, Obviously, next destination is a very, very short price in this, and I think this horse is very, very worth taking on. Um, Taken on with who? Firstly, we're going to look at David Pipe's horse here, remastered. Nothing wrong. 3 chase wins this year since diverting to the fences. Very impressed with the last run in the Greatwood, which was quite impressive indeed. Jumped soundly all the way round. It was quite impressive. And then we go on to Galvin of Ian Ferguson. Again, this is come from Gordon Elliott's horse. Jack Kennedy takes the ride. Again, nicely bred horse by Goldwell. Coming in now here for a 5-timer. I'll just get this up. Sorry. And then he's a horse that has been backed quite heavily over the last week. Last seen here at Cheltenham, over the course and distance, winning a novice chase of a mark of 148. Being a horse called Soldier of Love. I must admit, this horse has been getting better and better as they have decided to step him up and trip. This trip definitely suits the horse. I mean, come back last year, second to Imperial Aura in Northern Trust Company's handicap to a chase listed one of 142. So comes into this off a mark of 152 again. So yeah, McGalvin has to be taken seriously, I think. John Neal's got a cracking record on this, but I think you can overlook Lithic this year. I mean, 101 shot, probably more. I don't think Lithic's going to win. It'd be a shock if Lithic won this, to be honest. Okay, so the 2 against the field, which I do like, is Denise Foster's Escaria 10 and Ben Pauling's Nesta Park. Now, we look at Escaria 10 first. But this horse is just a galloper. He will gallop and gallop and gallop. And I'm just hoping that Jack Kennedy gets a good run out of him. He's second in a novice grade 3 novice chase at Nace last time out behind Eclat de Derriere. Lost by a length and 3/4. It was a very, very good run, I thought. Prior to that one at Thurles, winning, beating Minister for Sport by 20 lengths. But what you look at is, okay, he lost by 15.5 lengths, but on his chase debut, he lost 15.5 lengths behind Monkfish. You know, that was just in a beginner's chase. You know, yeah, he got thrashed, but Monkfish, you know, you run against a serious chaser. So, yeah, I think his last run at Nace was good enough to suggest that he could run well here. He kept on without matching the winner. I just think he was given too much to do by Jack Kennedy on the day, but that doesn't really say the result would be changed. Eclat de Ria, Henry de Bromhead was pretty impressive. So yeah, I think Escaria 10 could run into a place here. I think they're paying top 5 in some of the bookies today, which is pretty damn good. So I think Escaria 10 stepping up and trip will do well. And another one here is Nesta Park. And I think this horse is too big at 33s for Ben Poy. Ben Poy won this race back in 2019. Now, his form this season isn't too bad. I mean, second to Morning Vicar on season debut at Newbury over 2.5, and came out, went to Aintree and this December finished 5th in a Class 3, 2.5. And then I thought he's rather unlucky at Newbury when they really stepped his horse up and trip. But he went from 2.5 miles, and then within 24 days, so within 3 weeks, they stepped his horse from 2.5 miles to 3.25. And he run an absolute cracker in a good soft ground. For mark 130, he was just denied by a horse called Amateur, who was well handicapped on the day anyway. So James Flint's horse was just well handicapped, and he was backed quite heavy prices, outside prices, to win the race. Nesta Park was 13-2 joint favourite a day, and he lost by neck. Now, the horse back in third, Cuban Pete, was 20 lengths clear. These two were clear by 20 lengths at Newbury. That was over 3.25 miles. And then he came out last month. It was while off, and he came out and lost 8 lengths to Lieutenant Rocco, who sadly is out of the Ultima, and it was favourite to win the race. That again, was another cracking run. I mean, this horse will just stay and stay and stay. And I'm really hoping for Ben Pauling he gets another Cheltenham winner, because his yard hasn't been that great over the last few years. And I think over the last 4 to 6 weeks, his yard have been having winners. That's really thanks to a couple of good jockeys that are actually getting into the horse zone, which is really good news. And I think Nesta Park 33-1 is way overpriced. Ridiculous price here. I don't think, I mean, Kevin Brogan roamed last time out of £5 to £5 claimer. This time, Luca Morgan's going to ride. So I think at a price of 33-1, Nesta Park is a good bet. So looking at this here, so we'll go back over the last race here. So my bet would be 1 point win at 5-1 with Unibet, that is. Mostly generally 4-1 across the board with Escaria 10, and half point each way at 33-1 with on Nesta Park. And it's actually Nesta Park I actually like the most. I just think it's a very interesting horse going over this marathon trip. So we're going to go back quickly over the because my hour's nearly up. So I'm going to quickly go back over the meeting here. So the 120 was his supreme. I think appreciate it is definitely the horse to win. Sorry, but I'm going to have a little stab here each way on Ballyadam. Hopefully this horse can run a big race. So that's half a point each way on Ballyadam, as you know. 155, which is the Arkle. Again, Shishkin's race to lose, but I'm going to have a little each way point here. Half point each way on Captain Guinness. The first two races are just probably formality, but I'm just going to have a little each way bet on the two little outsiders there at good prices. The 230, which is the old teamer. Again, I think 1 point win on Happy Go Lucky is a good bet, and half point each way on Milan Native at 7-15-2. But please, like I said, do watch out for Alnadam, which has been tipped up by Hugh Taylor. The Champion Hurdle, I'm going to stick with Honeysuckle on this 2 point win. Honeysuckle, nothing today. I think it should be too classy for Epatante, especially on this ground. And I think Goshen giving weight away for the two mares is just ridiculous. As for an outsiders, just watch out for Sharjah. The horse always seems to bring his best to Cheltenham when needed. The Cloves mare, the 340, I'm taking on Constantisa here with Roxana. So it's a 1 point win at 3-1 on Roxana. Taking on Constantisa. 415. Yeah, two in the race here. It would be 1 point win on Saint Sam at 5-1, and half a point each way on Cabot Cliffs at 14-1. Cabot Cliffs is on the blog. And in the final race of the day, which is the Samvesti, again, we're having 1 point win at 5-1, which is Unibet. We'll go to 4-1 Germany across the board on Iscaria 10, and my half point each way on the Big Whoppy 33-1 on Nesta Park. So that will be my bets for the day, guys. Be lucky, don't go mad. You need to be in front on the first day if you can. I mean, Cheltenham's hard enough as it is, but just be careful, bet wisely, and don't try and lose money. Don't chase that money. Cheers, guys. It's On the Level Racing channel. Signing out. All the best. Have a good Cheltenham.